They say the woman who died in room 217 never left. Guests report lights flicking on, bags unpacking, and someone tucking them in when no one's there. They say every old hotel has a story, but the Stanley, this place feels like it breathes. When you walk through those massive front doors in Estes Park, Colorado, you don't just enter a building, you enter a memory, a cold one, a memory that doesn't belong to you, but somehow still knows your name. I came here thinking I knew the stories, tourist rumors, ghost hunter exaggerations, Stephen King's inspiration for The Shining. But the moment I checked in, the air felt heavy, charged, like something was waiting for me to make a mistake. I told the receptionist I wanted to stay in room 217. She didn't laugh. She didn't ask why. She just stared at me for a second, like she was trying to warn me without actually saying it. Then she slid the key across the counter with a quiet, "Just don't sleep with the lights completely off. Trust me." It almost felt rehearsed, like she'd said it too many times. I didn't take it seriously. I should have. The hallway to room 217 was longer than it should have been. The carpets were thick and patterned, muffling every footstep. The chandeliers buzzed faintly, flickering just enough to make my stomach twist. And the entire time,
I knew I
could
wasn't
hear
alone.
this soft humming, not
The
electrical,
darkness at the end of the hall
not
seemed to
music,
be watching me,
just
waiting.
humming. A woman's voice. I kept looking back over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone walking behind me. But every time, the hall was empty. When I reached the door, my hand froze on the doorknob. Room 217. The gold numbers were polished but slightly worn, like too many people had touched them hoping for luck or protection. For a second, I swear the door was colder than the rest of the hall, like something was pressing against the other side. The moment I opened it, the smell of old rose perfume drifted out. Sweet, soft, and immediately unsettling. The room itself looked normal at first. Beautiful even. Vintage furniture, warm lamps, a plush bedspread. But the air was tense, like someone had just been there. The curtains swayed slightly, even with the window closed. I set my bag down and tried to shake it off. Maybe it was just the atmosphere. Maybe I was letting the stories get to me. But it didn't help that every few minutes I caught that same rose perfume again. Stronger, closer, more present. I tried recording footage, but my camera kept refusing to focus on certain corners of the room, especially near the closet and the bathroom door. It wasn't broken, it just wouldn't obey. The weird stuff started around 9:43 p.m. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling through my phone, when I heard soft footsteps in the hallway outside. Slow, deliberate. They stopped right in front of my door. I waited for a knock, but it never came. There was only silence, a long, stretched-out silence that felt wrong. Then the doorknob clicked, not fully turning, just a single sharp click, like someone was testing it. I froze. I whispered, "Hello?" But saying it out loud made the room feel smaller, like the walls leaned in. The footsteps didn't return, but the air temperature dropped so quickly that my breath fogged. At 10:17 p.m., I heard it again, the humming. This time coming from inside the room. I stood up slowly. My heart was pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. The humming was faint, almost like someone trying not to be heard, but it was definitely a woman's voice, soft, sad, and old. I spun around trying to pinpoint the sound, but it kept shifting. First near the window, then the closet, then right behind me. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied. I should have left. Anyone else would have. But curiosity and fear tangled together, keeping me exactly where the room wanted me. Around midnight, the hotel grew unnervingly quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. I lay down on the bed, not to
The cold
sleep,
is the least of my
but
worries.
just to rest my eyes.
If they find me now,
I kept the lamps
after everything,
on like
I won't
the
survive this
receptionist
night.
told me. At 12:32 a.m., the bed dipped beside me, like someone sat down. I shot up, heart racing, staring at the spot. The blanket pulled downward, forming the shape of nothing. No body, no weight. Just the unmistakable impression of someone sitting calmly on the edge. My throat tightened. "Ma'am?" I whispered. I don't know why I said that. Maybe it was the humming. Maybe it was the perfume. Maybe some part of me already knew she was a woman. The bed dipped again, deeper this time, like she leaned closer. And then my nightstand drawer slid open. Slowly, deliberately. Inside was nothing but an old yellowed envelope. That envelope wasn't there when I checked in. My hand shook as I opened it. Inside was a brittle piece of paper with one sentence written in elegant handwriting. "Don't let him in." The lamp next to me flickered violently. The room temperature dropped so fast that my fingers stung. And then, for the first time, I heard it. A man's footsteps in the hallway. Heavy, faster than before, purposeful. He stopped in front of my door. Then another knock. But this one wasn't normal. It was slow. Too slow. 3 taps drew out like whoever was knocking didn't have to hurry. Like they knew I wasn't going anywhere. My chest tightened. I don't know how I knew, but I felt it. The warning wasn't from something dangerous. It was from something trying to protect me. The knocking grew harder, more impatient, and then the doorknob began to turn. Not a click this time, a full, steady twist. I backed away from the door, every instinct screaming. The air inside the room swirled cold and sharp. The humming returned, louder, right next to me, like the woman was standing between me and the door. The lamps went out, pitch black. The doorknob stopped turning, and the footsteps retreated, but not like a person walking, more like something dragged backward down the hall. When the lights flickered back on, the room felt different, calm, almost comforting. The rose perfume lingered, enveloping the space like a soft embrace.
Quickly.
I didn't leave
Just the
until morning.
necessities.
I didn't sleep.
This isn't much
Nobody
time.
sleeps in room 217 willingly. But the rest of the night stayed quiet. Peaceful, even. It felt like someone was watching over me, not haunting me. At checkout, I handed the key back to the receptionist. She saw the envelope still clutched in my hand, and her face went pale. "You saw her?" she whispered. It wasn't a question.
She's been protecting
I gave
this
a small
room for
nod.
over a century.
She leaned closer and said, "Most guests never see the man. They don't stay long enough." She lowered her voice. "But the woman, she's been protecting this room for over a century."
Listen closely.
She doesn't
I can't
like
talk
him
long.
getting
The
inside.
director is watching everyone.
I left the
Don't trust
hotel with the
anyone
sunrise touching the mountains, but even then, I kept glancing
house
over
was
my shoulder.
compromised.
It didn't feel like the experience stayed in the room. It felt like the warning followed me. Sometimes,
Empty.
when I'm alone at night, I
Just like
still
I remember
smell
it.
the roses, and every once
Just
in
like
a
I
while,
deserve.
I hear that slow knock.
Still filled with
Just
fear, haunted
3
by night
taps,
events.
like someone checking to see if I'm still listening.